oh man, has it been a little while since we have done a recorded podcast. And we don't have anyone with me this time, which is why we haven't done a recorded podcast in a while and just stuck to the stage. But, I mean, this is like the week recap. We haven't done a recorded podcast in about 5 days. We're posted in about 5 days. But man, was it worth the wait. We're going to talk about a lot of the stuff that have happened over the past 4 or so days. We had what was supposed to be the super heated rivalry between Rift 1 versus Team Lunar. That really didn't go in Team Lunar's favor. Satronix, you can roll the clips. That match was absolutely dominated by Rift 1. Team Lunar came back at the end. Of course, Atomic, one of the better players on Team Lunar, came up clutch but wasn't able to end it off. Rift 1 won in overtime. The crazy thing about that, they were playing with reserves. And another crazy thing about Rift 1 playing reserves is that if you roll the clips again, they beat Team Satronix with Rift Sun, literally one of the... what? He popped off. No one was expecting him to pop off. They expect to be the main player for that team in Rift 1, since Typical and Clouds weren't able to play. But damn, did Sun step up. Everyone started calling him Rift Sun after that. Rift 1's name is no more. It's Rift Sun. And let me tell you, that game was absolutely phenomenal. Team Satronix bring it to a game 5. Everyone was predicting Satronix to win. I predicted Satronix to win. But damn, no, they did not at all. Game 5 dominated by Rift Sun and company. They took that one, and Day 1 belonged to Rift 1. But another Day 1 heroics that were really much unexpected were Core Esports sweeping the NULS favorites in NSU Esports, who after that loss ended up retracting from the tournament due to losing a third. So another team retracting for the tournament, more or less for staff issues, was as well Team Comeback, and that's still being resolved. But I think everything should be resolved at the moment. But yeah, there's some rumors going in here and there. But talking about Rift 1, not Soul is still on Blizzard Esports, but Fellowframe ends up going to Team Satronix to compete with them for the GSCS Elite Invitational Championship. Coming up, today is the quarterfinals day. Some matches might have been played by the time this video does come out. So sorry if I sound very, very weird. I have not drank water yet and I just woke up, so I'm just going over some of the matches for you guys. We can go over today. Okay, so we can report the scores. Day 1, round 1. Team Lunar gets swept by Rift 1. Lucid Esports gets swept by Team Satronix. But something that is a little bit more of a game changer is Satronix. They kind of change around their Rift 1. Team Lucid Esports, they change around their roster a little bit. They bring on Crunchy and another third that end up doing pretty well against Kayahaku Esports, and they kind of lose their third like a day or two later, but they do end up doing pretty well against Core Esports and other teams in scrims with another third that they picked up yesterday called Jimmy. So that's also going to be someone else to look out for. But as well, Naptown Saturn almost defeats God Lions, bringing them to game number 5 overtime, but God Lions end up taking that one. Core Esports sweep NSU Esports. Team Comeback 3-0 Saturn. NSU Esports auto forfeit to God Lions, of course, due to losing a third. We talked about the Rift 1 Satronix. We have Kayahaku that gets swept and dominated by Team Satronix. Team Lucid Esports and Team Lunar forced to draw for round 3. Team Comeback sweep God Alliance Purity before they DQ. Core Esports 3-1 Naptown Saturn in a very, very core dominated matchup. Kahaku Esports 2-3 to Rift 1. Team Lunar 1-3 to Team Satronix. Team Satronix remain on top in that rivalry with James and Brody. And Kahaku Esports gets swept by Lunar, which is a very big surprise. They get swept by Lunar, destroyed by Lunar, and Rift 1 sweep Lucid Esports. And we can go over some of the playoff matchups. Tonic, you can put the playoff matchups on the screen. We have Core Esports versus Lucid Esports to start off. That one should be streamed, I think. Then we have God Alliance Purity versus Team Lunar, which is another one that we can hope to get streamed later today. We also have Rift 1 versus Naptown Saturn, which I'm pretty sure Rift 1 should be the heavy favorite in that one as well. Team Satronix versus Kayahaku Esports, which Satronix should also be a favorite in that one. So, I mean, I think Core Esports should be a somewhat of a heavy favorite. Lucid Esports ended up sweeping Core Esports in scrims, and I got a message from Chase saying that I should rank them way higher because they swept Core Esports. And to be honest with you, they were playing with Junior. They weren't playing with their main starter. We're going to have to see what happens today, but I feel like that's going to be a close matchup. God Alliance should be the heavy favorites over Team Lunar, although they're one seeding apart. A big rank differential, but God Alliance, I mean, Brody's confident in his team to take down God Alliance. We're going to have to see what happens in that situation. Remember, finals on Saturday, best of sevens in each one, best of set. Tomorrow, semifinals, single best of sevens. Tonic, put my predictions on the board, Tonic, because we got that to talk about real quick. Put the predictions, put them on the board, because look at this. I have first of all, I have Core Esports, number 1 seed, taking down Lucid Esports 4-1 in the quarterfinals. God Alliance should, I'm sorry, Brody, I'm sorry. You always make things interesting, but God Alliance, when Koala Bear is playing at his best, Think is being the team distributor that he is, and Chilled is slotting shots. That is a team to be worried about. God Alliance Purity 4-2 over Team Lunar. I predict that could be a 4-0 sweep in favor of God Alliance, but Team Lunar could make it interesting, but I don't see that happening at the moment. Rift 1, they 4-1 or 4-0 Naptown Saturn. I think that one should be pretty easy to predict. Same with Team Satronix, 4-2 or 4-1. I go with 4-1 over Kayahaku Esports. They don't make it past the semis. At the my last prediction had Kayahaku winning this, but the way that they've looked recently, absolutely not. Here's Core Esports get upsetted by God Alliance Purity. Remember, I don't no hate for anyone, just my pure interesting predictions, just to make a discussion topic. God Alliance Purity get upset Core Esports 3-4 in favor of God Alliance. Rift 1 3-4 in favor of them, Team Satronix. Again, no hate for anyone, just remember regular discussion pieces. Then we have a best of set. God Alliance take the first series against Rift 1 4-3. And then Rift 1 takes the next series 4-2. Then Rift 1 ends it off, wins the championship, takes the last series 4-3. But ladies and gentlemen, oh boy, do we have a matchup to worry about today. I think the first matchup is going to be Core Esports versus Lucid Esports, a match to really see. Core Esports should be looking out for Lucid, because Lucid took them down yesterday. Although it was with a sub, Lucid with Jimmy are super dangerous, but I think that's definitely going to fall in their favor. We're going to talk about rumors and stuff more in that sense in another video, probably coming out the day after preseason, which is the day after the grand final of the GSCS Elite Open. But that is going to be it from me and the Gaming Spot Championship Series. It is time to say goodbye.